One of the most asked questions here on my channel is not so much about my age, but how I manage to stay young. And I can honestly say that it doesn't just happen. I think being young, feeling young, is a mindset. So I thought it might be a good time just to talk about how I've adopted an ageless attitude. And quite possibly some of these ideas might work for you too. I know many of you because, from your comments to videos, I know that many of you already have a very, very ageless attitude. And in this video, or after this video, those of you who feel like you have that ageless attitude that we're talking about, I hope that you will share some tips about how you manage to hang on to that. You know, I want to say right off the bat that I actually made the decision many, many years ago that I truly wanted to be ageless. And I made up my mind that I wanted to age my way. Now let me tell you, for as long as I can remember in being an adult, somewhere in the back of my mind, I knew I was going to have a facelift. I knew it. There was never any doubt in my mind about it. And at some point, I even started putting little bits of money away because I knew it was going to be expensive. So I more or less started a little savings account for it. And it wasn't much. I knew I had a lot of years before I would do it. So I had a lot of time to hopefully put some kind of a dent in that huge price tag. And as I got closer and closer to actually going through with it, I kept pulling further away from it. As I got into my 50s, I was really sort of liking the way I was aging. Now let me tell you, I was looking at every little wrinkle, every little saggy part of my face. I was starting to see just tiny little indications that my face especially was starting the aging process. But I'm going to tell you, I still liked the way I looked. And then I got into my 60s. and everything was fine. I looked like every other 60, 61, 62-year-old who does videos here on YouTube, except that I, so far, had not had anything done. Now, that's not saying everybody has, but many, by the time they get that age, many now have started to have little procedures, little fillers, and that is obviously, I think that's okay. I had a savings account for a facelift. So, I looked in the mirror and I'm going, okay, I can do this. And I know I said this in one of my very first videos, but one night when I was about 62, 63, right in there, I looked wonderful, I thought, for my age. And I woke up the next day, and it was like night and day. I had more wrinkles. My skin was starting to sag on my face. It was almost like one side of my face had started to fall and the other side hadn't. To me, it was noticeable. And that's when I knew I was truly aging. I decided to hold off. It was a shock to my system for sure, but I was handling it okay. Some days were better than others. Some days were really bad. But at that point, my mother was still alive, and I could look at her, and I'm a spitting image of her, but I knew if I did nothing, that's probably pretty much what I would look like too, with nothing done. So I chose to do nothing, knowing in the back of my mind that that could always change. I might wake up one day and say, you know what, I hate these trenches under my eyes. I'm going to have some filler. Never smoked a cigarette, but I always drink out of a straw. I have the lines over my mouth, over my lips. My lips, as my face has started to sag, my lips are turning, my top lip is turning under, which is making it look much smaller. And I'm thinking a little filler in that top lip just might be the ticket for me. And then I always knew that at any given time I could have something done. Maybe just a mini facelift, maybe something that would just refresh me, but I knew I would have something done, or I knew I probably would have something done. But as I've aged and the older I've gotten, and some of you have heard me say this before, but I'm finding it actually exciting to watch my face age. Not the rest of my body, but my face. I'm watching my face age. And I'm feeling, and I have for a long time, I'm feeling so good about the process. So let's just talk about some things that I know that I've consciously done to help me have an ageless attitude. One thing that I catch myself doing all the time is talking about my age. I don't do it as much anymore as I used to. In case I haven't said it, and in case you don't know, I'm 76, and I've still had no work done whatsoever, no fillers, nothing. So 76, gonna be 77 in July. But I found as I've aged, I have used I've used words that probably weren't very smart, like, and I would be kidding, but I would say, oh, I'm old. You think you're old? I'm old. I would catch myself saying, oh, so-and-so is supposed to be an expert, and they say I'm no longer supposed to wear red lipstick. They say I'm supposed to let my hair just go gray. They say I'm no longer supposed to wear high heels. They say I should really change the way I dress. I should never wear anything off the shoulder. Here's how I think about it. I'm aging. I'm aging for sure. I see it every single day. But I love my red lipstick. If I did not wear color on my face, I would look like I was dead already. I can wear red lipstick. It gives me color. I don't wear it every day, but I wear it a lot. I love it. Why shouldn't I wear it? There's not a lipstick judge. I'm just not too old to pull it off. I can pull it off. And even if I couldn't pull it off, if I wanted to wear it, I would. I can wear an off-the-shoulder look. I can wear off one shoulder, no shoulders. But if I want to wear off-the-shoulder tops, I can wear them. There's no judge and jury out there who's going to put me in jail because I'm 76 and I shouldn't be wearing an off-the-shoulder top. It's all about my attitude about it. So I think that's the first thing, is to stop allowing myself to even think about the fact that I'm getting old or older. And I've sort of changed that word from old to older, because we're all getting older every single day. If we're lucky, we're getting older. The second thing is to think about what's working for me with my hair, with my makeup, with my clothing. What's actually working for me? When I look in the mirror and I can go, okay, that works, then I'm good. But I know that many of you have felt this. You think everything is good, and then one day, this side of your face is cattywampus. Maybe this eyelid, the shadow is not even with this one, and you have to do a little adjusting. And I think that's what's key, is as we're aging, as we're getting older, I have to, or I want to, continue to assess and tune and tweak. Oh, I saw someone do an eyeshadow the other day, and I think that might work for my saggy eye, my droopy eye. I think I'll try that. I try to just constantly be tuning and tweaking and making little changes to make whatever's going on with this a little bit more presentable for me, for the look that I want for me. The next part of this ageless attitude that I think I've developed is I realized a long time ago I had to forget everything I'd ever heard about aging. And I know, you know, if you're probably watching this, you know how your mother aged, you know how your grandmother aged, you know how your aunts aged, your next door neighbors, your mother's friends. You saw it. You saw that when they got to be a certain age, they did stop taking care of themselves. They changed the way they dressed. They wore no makeup. They let their hair go gray. They didn't wear pretty shoes. They wore functional shoes. And listen, there is nothing wrong with that. I've said this so many times before. If that's the way you've chosen to age, that is wonderful. I have a funny story. My best friend. We've been friends since we were pregnant. Close to 50 years ago. And she came, I had already moved from Memphis to Little Rock. She came to visit. And we go shoe shopping. And it was back when you went in real shoe stores and there were shoe salesmen and they had those little stools that they sat on and they would actually go get the shoes for you and put them on you. So we're sitting there going to look at shoes and there's this older couple about 2 seats down from us. And we were the only people in the store. The sales clerk was helping her find a new pair of shoes. And he brought out a pair of navy blue SAS shoes. Now, I know many of you know what those shoes are. They're like a little Oxford, not really an Oxford, but they're a flat and they have a little lace and they're perfectly plain. And they look like they're really soft and really comfortable. So he puts the shoe on her foot and she looks at it and she turns her foot side to side and she points her toe and she flexes her toe and she's doing this and she's doing that and then she stands up and she moves that foot in all different directions and she's looking at it and she's looking at this side and then she's looking at this side and she looks at her husband and she said, "Well, honey, what do you think?" And he said, "Well, you know, if you like it, I like it. That's what matters." And she went, "Oh, okay, I'll take them." And the clerk said, "Do you want to wear them out? Or do you want me to put them in the box?" And she said, "I'll put them in the box." So he takes that shoe off of her foot, puts that shoe in the box with the other one, closes the lid, reaches from behind his little stool, and he picks up the shoes that she wore in the store. And I'm telling you, they were the exact same shoe that she was buying. The same brand, the same style, the same color. I looked at my friend and she looked at me and it was like, okay. So we bought some cute little shoes. We left that shoe store and it was almost like we turned to each other at the same time and one of us said, "Let's make a pact right here and now. If either one of us ever buys a pair of those shoes, the other one can kill her." And we laughed because neither one of us would ever wear that shoe. Nothing wrong with that shoe. But we already knew that was not how we were going to age. I am so fortunate that in today's day and time that we have very, very comfortable, cute shoes. But I've thought about that many times, especially when shoe shopping. That may have been her only option, was that navy blue SAS shoe. So just forget everything you've ever known about aging. Do it your way. Do it your way. Your way may not be my way, but do it your way. The next thing that I've done to help with my ageless attitude is to find mentors. Find women either in my personal life or my work life back when I was working, celebrities, public figures. Find women who are older or somewhere close to my age, who are aging the way I want to age, and use them as role models. Not so much in who they are as people, but the outward appearance. And I'm finding that there are more and more and more women out there who can serve as a role model for me or as a mentor. Women like Ally McGraw, Suzanne Summers, Goldie Hawn, Nancy Pelosi. I mean, look at, whether you agree with her politics or not, look at her. I mean, always perfectly put together. Lauren Hutton, Jane Seymour, Christy Brinkley, Donna Mills. There are so many beautiful, beautiful women out there that we can use as role models and mentors. I'm sure there are women right here on YouTube that you can say, oh, I like her look. I like the way she feels about aging. I want to do that. That's how I want to be. And I think the last thing for me is I always have to have a goal or a dream, something that I can focus on those days that all I want to do is stay in bed and cover up my head. So I always have a dream or two or a goal or two that I can snap myself out of that negative mindset with to get me up and going. And I think in the past year, because many of you know I've had some little health issues and I've come through them great, but Jim and I love to travel. We love to cruise. We love to go to Europe. You know how much we love Barcelona. And I want to be able to travel for as long as I possibly can, especially on cruises. And we just came back from one. One of the beautiful things about a cruise is that if you have any physical challenges, they're ready for you. They cater to you. But I want to be able to walk, and I want to be able to see, and I want to be able to climb hills and ride a four-wheeler and ride a bicycle. I want to be able to do those things. So it means I have to take care of myself every day. I have to eat healthy. Whatever that means for me, I have to eat healthy. I have to move. I know I have to keep my body moving. I have some aches and pains. Some days are worse than others. But I know that I have to keep my body moving. And I try to do something, especially walking, every single day. That's important to me. Because if I can keep my body moving, then I can travel. And I can go and I can do and I can see things. And I can dance the sardona, hundreds of year old folk dance in Barcelona with the Barcelonians. So really and truly, that is my goal, is I want to do what I need to do for me to be mobile and healthy for as long as I possibly can, so that we can continue to travel and I can pick my grandkids up and I can walk Little Biscuit, who is back here somewhere. I don't feel like I want to go back and be 50 or 60 or 65. I am so cool with who I am at 76. And on July 27th, when I turn 77, I know I am going to be just as cool with 77. I know it. Again, the bottom line is we are what we think. And I think that if I am youthful in any way, it's because of my attitude about it. I want to get up every single day and be the very best person I can be that day. Mentally, spiritually, physically, and my outward appearance. I can't do it every day, but I can do it a lot of days. And if my mind is thinking about that, rather than being sick, maybe not being able to walk as far as I used to be able to walk, or do the things that I used to be able to do, or look the way I used to look. I can't do anything about that anymore. This is today. And I'm going to be the best I can be today. And those of you who watch me know how much I believe in kindness and being kind. It's the best thing you can do for your attitude. It's the best thing that you can do for an ageless attitude is to be kind. Be kind. So again, if there are any things that you personally do that help you with this aging process, that help you with your ageless attitude, list it below so that others can go down and read the comments and maybe adopt some of your tips and your attitudes too. Know that I love you. I will see you soon.